All right, what is up, everybody? Divine Hood here, coming at you with another daily update on Bitcoin. And guys, guess what just happened? I just created a 90-minute video covering Bitcoin and the alts, and it didn't have sound. My mic got unplugged, or I unplugged it, and I forgot to plug it back in. Gosh, that sucked. So, sorry this video is a bit later than normal, and let's give this a take two. All right, guys. So, Bitcoin, we did get the drop. Pretty exciting day today. We saw first of all, yesterday, we saw the front run of our key weekend lows here into our channel midline and into our pitchfork band of support here. And we pumped up, but we were kind of grinding sideways here. And then CPI print released early this morning today, and the CPI print was bad, and you saw we got an immediate flush down, and we flushed the liquidity of both of our key levels at the same time. If you go into yesterday's video, you can see that I had a green box down here between our SFP and our 786. In this area here, there was a green box, and that was the support level that I was really looking at. I wanted to see that level be hit yesterday. Not only did we front run these levels here, but we front ran this SFP, this key SFP here yesterday. And so today we finally got the push that we were looking for, the push down we were looking for into our key support level, and then we're pumping. Now, we took liquidity of both of them at the same time. That's a good thing. The reason I was looking for this internal liquidity grab here, because obviously we know this was an impulse to the upside after our massive crash Sunday 10 days ago. And if we were looking at this as a double 1-2, I'm going to go over Elliott waves in just a second here too, because I was talking about that a lot in the Discord today. But we had our 1-2, 1-2, third wave explosion. And then this in here was a 4-5 and then a 4-5 up here. Sorry, I drew that absolutely horrible. But we saw a double 1-2 impulse on lower time frames in this impulse to the upside. This entire move here has been corrective. And we've just been watching the correction in this descending channel. Really haven't been able to break out of the channel. We saw a fake out of it yesterday before dumping back in. And we've been just trading down and sideways in this descending channel. We finally came to our swing failure pattern that we were looking at, our second level of support that we were looking at. Our first one was that golden pocket that we did see a push up from here. That was last weekend, and we got a good push up to the top of the channel, rejected the top of the channel. Now we hit into our swing failure pattern. And actually, let me put that back on there because I'm going to go into this in low time frames. I got into this swing failure pattern trade, this long here, because we were seeing what we wanted to see, and we saw confirmation. So let's go into this real quick. We came down to that level. We had the push past it, the swing failure pattern, an immediate recovery of that level. And I actually longed this when we recovered our channel midline. So I think around 346 or something like that, 350-ish. I longed in this area because we were seeing the swing failure pattern confirm, but we were also seeing bull divs on multiple time frames. If we zoom out to the 15-minute chart, you can see we were seeing lower lows in the price action here, higher lows in the momentum wave. So between this low here, this momentum wave, and the low that we made here, we were seeing higher lows in the momentum waves on the 15-minute, plus our money flow was not only increasing from the red into the green, so we saw our confirmation on the 15-minute to the long. On the hourly chart, lower lows on the price action, higher lows on the momentum waves, 1 hour bull divs into a key level of support. 2 hour time frame, same thing. Lower lows on the price action, higher lows here. And lower lows on the price action, higher lows on the momentum waves, 2 hour bull divs. So we were seeing our bull divs that we look for as confirmation to enter the trade, and we got the confirmed swing failure pattern. Entered long, took profit pretty early on my TP1, and then my second TP was at the top of the channel. And if you go back to yesterday's video, one of the reasons I had a TP at like 97, 400, we did have a daily level there. I deleted it in the video I just made, but you can see here, if we go onto our daily chart and we put on that daily, let's mark that out. Our point of control of our small area was also there. So let's go to the 3 hour chart and let's do our volume profile pull from the here, and we're not going to include today's price action. We're just going to include it up to yesterday. You can see our point of control, the top of the channel, our daily, all was up in this area here. And so we were looking for this area to act as, and let me hide this for now. That's a new naked daily point of control today, all up in this area. So what happened when we came up to that area? Let me zoom in here, 30-minute chart. You can see our point of control and our daily level was up here. We came up to it, we hit above it, and we started rejecting here. So I took a TP2 up here just because of that. And we did see a little bit of a rejection from our first level of resistance. Now, I did say that this was local resistance and that if Bitcoin really gets volatile, we can break out of the channel and break this resistance really strongly. We did see a small pullback, but now we're continuing higher. And where did we end this small pullback? Well, let's look at this here. We'll do a Fibonacci pull from the lows today to that high that we rejected from. Let's turn on our 382. And we bounced from our 382. We did front run it just by a few dollars here, but I often talk about this, guys. The 382 acts as support or resistance in a strong trend. Because of this impulse candle that we saw here, we could assume that maybe this was the start of an impulse. I was actually talking about it while we were still down here doing our 1112s, and I'm going to go into that in just a second too. And we bounced from our 382. Finally, we're able to get back above. Let me zoom in onto the 12-minute chart. Bounced from our 382, finally able to get back above the channel, back tested the channel now as support on a low time frame, and now we're continuing higher. By the way, this wick here on Coinbase, we just saw this right before daily close. This is not on any other exchange, so something big must have happened on Coinbase, or some big player must have sold on Coinbase, but none of the other exchanges have this wick here, so not too sure what this is about, but yeah, big wick there. And that wick actually went to, if we look at that wick, we do a Fibonacci pull from the lows to the highs right before that wick was made. And we turn on our golden pocket. So nothing is random in the market, guys. Someone sold and dropped us straight to our golden pocket there. That is also the value area low of our range. If we pull this range now, including all of the price action, let me get this range here. Let's pull this all the way. You can see our value area lows down there as well. So that wick dropped us all the way to our golden pocket value area low. No other exchange had that though. So I just wanted to make that as a side note. But okay, so busted, back tested the channel, made another move up. Now we could be in what's called a 1112 impulse. Let me go into this real quick. I'm going to zoom in on the 6-minute chart, but let me get a free space here real quick. And we're going to talk about Elliott wave impulses. So there's two type of price actions we watch in Elliott wave theory. We watch impulsive price action, which an impulse is always a 5-wave move overall. Now there's subcounts within the 5-wave move. So you have impulsive price action and then you have corrective price action. Now corrective price action usually is at the end of an impulse. You have a correction and it's usually a zigzag 3-wave move. Now, there are complex corrections like double zigzags, things like that. And then, of course, there's more complex impulses. But this is the basic impulsive patterns and corrective patterns are the two types of price action we watch for in Elliott wave theory. Now, with this impulse here, a basic one is just 5 moves, with your third wave being your longest and strongest wave, most volume-filled wave to the upside. And then you have your 4-5 to end it. Your 5 usually takes out your 3. And then you can even just do an SFP of 3 and dump. That's like a truncated 5th wave. Or you can move up a little bit higher. But this is an impulse wave here. Now, just like we saw Monday 9 days ago, you can have what's called a double 1-2. So instead of just one wave here, 1-1-2, you have 1-2-1-2. Then you have your third wave explosion. And then because you had 2 1-2s, you'll have a 4-5-4-5. So 2 1-2s means you have 2 4-5s. Third wave always stays the same. You can also see a more complex Elliott wave, a 1-2-1-2-1-2, third wave explosion, and then you see a 4-5-4-5-4-5. 3 1-2s means you have 3 4-5s you're looking for. So that's just a more complex Elliott wave impulse pattern. We're looking at a possible impulse here. Remember, we've been looking for this correction to end for a few days now. And okay, so let me go back to the charts here. So we hit into our major support level that we were watching, and we're seeing a pretty good move up. But what did we see after this here? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. There's our 3 1 2s. Our clear impulse to the upside here in a wave 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, and then we could be in the last 4, 5 right now. Or I was even looking at this as possibly, so after our third wave, first 4, first 5, second 4, second 5, third 4, third 5. And I was looking at this triple 1 2 impulse being done. And then when we saw this, I said, oh, this is perfect. But no other exchange got this. So a little bit concerned about that. And of course, your correction, a common corrective wave target is 0.5 is a very common one, but especially on a 2 wave is the golden pocket. And we did drop to the golden pocket there. Now, if we're not, because other exchanges didn't have this wick to the downside, maybe this 4 5 triple impulse is not done yet. Maybe this is our first 4 5 4 5, and then this is a 4, and then our 5 is going to bring us a little bit higher. So that is something we need to be watching for here now. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm looking at. And then after your impulse is done, you'll have a correction. Now, this is a micro time frame count. Usually I don't like to count Elliott waves in micro time frames, but I am trying to learn more about Elliott wave theory right now, and I'm diving into it a bunch. So when I saw this happening on the chart and I saw this, it's like, okay, this looks like a clear triple 1 2 impulse here. But if we zoom out here, so you have your higher degree impulses and then within your higher degree impulses, you have lower degree impulses. So what I just went over was a low time frame, lower degree impulse. But this impulse could be just the start of a much bigger move to the upside. This could be our full wave 1. Our wave 2 could be a back test of the breakout of the channel. Wave 3 could bring us all the way up to 103, where our key golden pocket value area high is. Our wave 4 can be a back test, something like this. And our wave 5 could end us at our naked daily point of control around 104.7. So we had a lower degree triple 1 2 within our wave 1. In our wave 2, we'll look for an ABC correction, a 3-wave zigzag to the downside, ABC. And then we would see another 5-wave impulse in our bigger third wave, another correction, and another impulse within a bigger degree impulse. So that's what we're looking at. I know that's a bit confusing, and Elliott waves can get kind of messy. That's usually why I only like to do them on higher time frames. But just speculating on that right now. Okay, something else very important, you guys. Our point of control of our large range since November 11th. Remember, on Coinbase, it's been sitting at 98,587. Well, I just pulled the volume profile now with the updated price action of today, and our point of control actually shifted down to 97,400, right where Bybit's point of control has been already. Or Bybit's is at 97,379. Coinbase, the point of control has now shifted down. So 98,500 is no longer the point of control. This is very important because now we are above the point of control of the range. Earlier today, when I was talking with some of you in the Discord, I was talking about our next potential resistance being at the point of control, the Coinbase point of control, about 98.6, because we had this SFP of yesterday's high into our old Coinbase point of control about 98,587. It was right in here. But now that our point of control is shifted below us, that changes this whole thought process on this SFP because we don't have much else here in this SFP. So I'm speculating that we might not get this SFP into the point of control because it's no longer there. We are above the point of control, and we are actually now trying to flip it to support. We have yet to backtest it really, but if we do backtest it, you can see our smaller range point of control is also now in alignment with our big range point of control. Now, if we continue to the upside, I am looking still for a pullback soon, even if it's a pullback now that we're breaking out of this channel and closing the daily candle outside of the channel. That's what's important. It's our first daily close outside of this channel. We could see a small retracement to back test the channel breakout and then continue higher. One of the things I'm watching for is a move all the way up to our value area high, our anchored VWAP and our golden pocket, and then a back test, and then our big explosion. So possible next resistance is going to be in this area here between 99,331 and 99,718. That's our next resistance area. Why is that our resistance area? Okay, let's go into this. Let me get this. Let me go ahead and delete a couple things off the chart here, clean it up. And I'm going to delete. Okay, I did delete that daily. That daily has now been tapped, so we're taking it off the chart. We have the value area high of our range that we've been in for the last 10 days. Up here, we have our anchored VWAP here, and we have our golden pocket. Now, this golden pocket, we have to pull a new golden pocket because we made new lows today, but we can go from our rejection that we saw at 102.5. Remember, that was our weekly and our naked weekly point of control up there, to our new lows that we just made today. Golden pocket is right in that level, and this golden pocket has not been tapped yet because this doesn't count for it because this was made before our low was made. So we have a fresh golden pocket at our value area high and at our anchored VWAP here. So 99.3 to 99.7 is our local resistance above us. We reclaimed our value area low here. We reclaimed our point of control for now. If we backtest this point of control and flip it to support, we can continue up to our value area high. Just simple volume profile trading. And if we have other confluence at our value area high, this is telling us this is a nice resistance to look for a small rejection. So this is our next resistance up here at 99.3 to 99.7. If we break that to the upside, we do have the anchored VWAP from the all-time high that is at the daily level, or it's close to the daily level, and that's about 101.459 up here. And then, of course, we have our SFP of those. Let me fix that. We have the SFP of the highs that we made on Monday, the Monday that after the Sunday huge dump into our golden pocket and our big range value area high. Now, the value area high of that range, let's go ahead and turn on our November 11th to present day range. You can see our value area high is up here. Our golden pocket is also up here. And that golden pocket pull is the golden pocket from the all-time high to our flash crash lows. Our golden pocket is right up there. Now, on Coinbase, let me actually just pull that real quick so I can show you this. I know I've talked about this in prior videos, but I'm just going to show you guys again real quick. So if we do that golden pocket pull from high to low and we shift that over, you can see here that on that immediate, let me get rid of this. Let's clean up this chart a little bit. I'm going to delete this now because our box is already there. You can see that on our high that this was made on a Sunday. The flash crash was made on a Sunday. Well, the next Monday, we had a pretty strong recovery and pump. We pumped up and we hit the anchored VWAP from our all-time high. We had a naked weekly point of control up there. We had a fresh weekly level up there. And it was the 618 of our golden pocket. You can see this like dark green line here. We hit the 618 on Coinbase. Now on Bybit, we have not hit that golden pocket yet. We front ran the golden pocket, but there was an absolute reason why we saw a rejection here where we did. And since then, we've been in a correction to the downside. So, but we did not hit the 0.65 here. You can see the 0.65 pretty much right at 103 is where our value area high of our big November 11th range is. And we front ran it just a bit. So we front ran that value area high. So now what do we have in this box? I'm going to go ahead and delete this now. In this box here, we have our value area high, our 0.65 golden pocket, and we have the liquidity grab of those highs that we made last Monday, 9 days ago. And so that is what we need to look. This is a resistance level still. Okay, so that's kind of what our three major areas of resistance are above us. Of course, actually, I do think this naked daily point of control at 104.7 is very important as well. I think that's where our 5-wave impulse could end if we're about to start a bigger impulse to the upside. So just be aware of that as well, but we take it level to level. Now to the downside, of course, we took this liquidity here. We do have this value area low down here still. And if we go on to our other charts here, let's go on to this chart. You can see the value area low is aligning with the bottom of the pitchfork. So that is still an important level down here. That's at 92.8-ish, 92.8 to like 92.6. We do have value area low in the bottom of the pitchfork, the bearish pitchfork. To the upside, yes, there's that 99.3 to 99.7-ish level that I was just showing you on the last chart. This level here where we have our value area high, we have our golden pocket, we have our anchored VWAP. Well, we also have our pitchfork band in that same area. So added confluence for resistance, pitchfork band up there. Now that we're breaking this level, so this level that I showed you guys yesterday, it was not only our point of control of our small range, it was our daily level, it was our big buy bit point of control, and it was this pitchfork midline. So we did see the small rejection to the 382. Now we're breaking it to the upside. What can we watch for now that we're breaking it to the upside? Well, we can watch for it to flip to support now. And then could we continue higher up to that golden pocket and pitchfork band level? So that's kind of what I'm watching now. I covered the 1112 that we're seeing possibly. Now I want to go into, well, let me zoom out here on this. And I want to talk about this real quick because the last few videos I've been talking about, and let me get rid of this. I'm just going to clean this up. So the last few videos, and I'm going to hide this point of control too. And we'll delete that. The last few videos, I've been talking about how this bearish pitchfork has been respected. And anytime we come down to the bottom of the band, you can see during this whole correction, it's kind of been a strong buy level. You see all these wicks to the downside, meaning buyers are interested in buying this support down here, or any support that we make that's a lower low. We're seeing swing failure pattern after swing failure pattern. Look at, so double low there, but then we did get that, kind of pushed down, took that liquidity. Then we had our new low, took the swing failure pattern of that low. Then we have this new low, took the swing failure pattern of that low. Then we had this low, just took the swing failure pattern of that low. So we just keep grabbing liquidity lower and lower and lower, and this band overall is following support. It's support, 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 support. At the same time, our pitchfork midline has been a resistance. Yes, we are seeing wicks up past it, but resistance overall, resistance overall, resistance, resistance. And now we're finally breaking it and closing a daily above it. So what we have to be aware, we've been kind of just chopping for the past like 8 days in between this band and this midline, band, midline, band, midline. Now we could be finally about to break the trend and reverse the trend and break the band to the the midline to the upside, back test the midline, and continue up to our golden pocket and higher band, higher pitchfork band, upper pitchfork band. So that's something I'm watching for. It is still possible that we could see another fake out like we saw a couple days ago here. So we do need to be aware of that because right now we want to see some volume coming in and it's just not coming in. It's concerning me a little bit. But we did see our bull divs down here, which was nice to see. Money flow overall in the 4 hour, you can see it's kind of rising to the upside now. On this whole move down, it's rising to the upside. That is a good sign that this correction might be close to an end. Remember, this was the impulse. This has all been a correction. Now, are we about to see another impulse? So, that is what I'm speculating here, that we could be starting an impulse to the upside up to 103 or maybe even 104.7, where that naked daily point of control is. Now we do have that new naked daily point of control. If we turn on our periodic volume profile, Coinbase is a bit different. So Bybit, it's right at 96K here, 95,985. So pretty much 96K. If we go on to Coinbase, you can see that is at 97K. So it's exactly $1,000 higher on Coinbase. The naked daily point of control. Obviously, this one is from today's candle that just opened a couple hours ago. So we're not paying attention to that. But yes, so we do have a little bit of a difference in the naked daily point of controls between Coinbase and Bybit. You guys know that I do like Coinbase levels better. So I'm going to mark out on my chart the naked daily point of control for Coinbase at 97K. So this general area, though, that we're seeing now, you can see it's the point of control of our smaller range that we've been in for about 10 days now. It's our large point of control now that it's shifted down below, and we have a naked daily point of control. So I know we're just barely above it, but this area that we're seeing right here, if we can back test this area and flip it to support, then we can at least come up to the value area high up here. And we're in the process of trying that now. So let's go ahead and zoom in on to like the 15-minute chart. You can see that we're breaking above it. Now, if we come back test it and hold it as support, we can continue higher. Okay, I am now going to go to my third chart here, and I want to talk about, let me zoom out to the daily chart. This is pretty important here, guys. So yesterday, in this entire range here, let me get rid of this real quick. In this entire range here, I've been talking about this lower band, the lower support of this upper band. This is a pitchfork that you can see rejected all-time high, rejected top, rejected top, rejected top. And anytime we come down to the band support, we're seeing strong bounces overall. No daily closes below except for one fake out right here. Well, yesterday we had closed our daily below it, and I was speculating this looks bad, guys. We could see a flush down much lower if we start to close dailies below it. And I did say, unless we see a fake out like this and reclaim it right away the next day, this could get bad. Well, guess what? We did reclaim it the very next day. We're back above it, and maybe we're just seeing something like this fake out here. But let's go ahead and look at this fake out. Now, history doesn't repeat, but it rhymes, right? Saw the drop below it, closed below it. Now, this close was a little bit worse than this close, but reclaimed it the next day, went sideways for a couple days, took our key liquidity. Remember, our key liquidity low was this low. We were waiting forever for this. I remember that. Finally went down to 89K, took that liquidity, and then saw a huge pump up to make new all-time highs. Okay, let's go into this now. Let's grab our bars pattern. Now, this can give us a fractal of what we saw. So we're going to take it from that daily fake out to our new pump all-time high. Okay, now we're going to take this bars pattern and we're going to overlay it what we saw today. The fake out to the downside, an immediate reclaim. Then we go sideways for a couple days, take the lows. We took the lows. Remember the liquidity lows? Well, guess what? We would take the lows again. I mean, obviously this is like equal, but it's just a fractal. So, we can play with it a bit. Like we could do something like this here, where we play with it a bit until we SFP, right? SFP those lows here that we saw at 91K, which is also around our value area low of our big range, and then pump. Now look at in this fractal pattern, pump through the pitchfork band, back test the pitchfork band as support, continue to the top of the pitchfork, make new all-time highs. Are we about to see something very similar that happened on January 9th through January 20th? I mean, it's very possible. This is just a fractal that we're looking at, but history does rhyme. I mean, we saw the last time we saw a fake out of this band, we saw this happen. Are we seeing a fake out of the band again? And is this about to happen? Now, if this is about to happen, it does mean we drop one more time to take these lows before making that all-time high. That is a possibility. We need to be watching that. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to point that out to you guys. I thought this was pretty cool, pretty unique. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that now. And we're going to look at, I mean, I still don't like how this, our market cipher B looks during this range. You can see the entire time we've been ranging sideways. Money flow has been going down. We finally crossed into the red on money flow, by the way. And that green dot that we saw on Monday, we saw a green dot on Monday. Well, the very next day we had a red candle to the downside, and now we closed today a green candle. But that green dot is not giving us much of a move yet. You know, the last time we saw a green dot here, we saw big follow through on that green dot. The last green dot we saw here, we saw big follow through on that green dot. We have not really seen big follow through. So, and I think it's because our money flow is so bearish on the daily. Plus we have bear divs, multiple drives of bear div, and we have weekly bear divs. So I do think it is a possibility still, guys. I know that you probably don't want to hear this. I do think it is a possibility. We could still come down to 85K. We do have our pitchfork midline down there, and we would grab the liquidity of these key lows of the beginning of the range low liquidity. So I'm just keeping that in mind. With the higher time frame divs, we cannot put that out of the equation. But right now, it's looking bullish that we had the key liquidity grab today and we're moving up. So that's about it for Bitcoin. Let's go real quick into Bitcoin on the Coinalyze. Look at this CBD divs, see if we see anything here. So earlier today in the video that I was just making, we were making some bullish CBD divs, but now it looks like they're starting to invalidate. You saw that from this correction down where we bounced from the 382, we were making higher lows in the price action. If you look at the vertical cursor, that means it started here. We were making lower lows in the CBD. And if we put it back on that again, that's right here. We were making higher lows on the open interest. So that is bullish absorption that we were seeing. But this last little push up has now invalidated our bullish absorption. Actually, if anything now, let's go ahead and let me get rid of all of this. If anything now, we might be seeing bearish absorption. Why? Because lower lows in the price action, that was horrible. Lower lows in the price action, just barely, but they are lower from this higher CVD and open interest increasing. So we are seeing possible bearish absorption right now, meaning our correction in our 1112 could be over. Our 1112 impulse could be over and we could start to see a correction now. So that's just what I want to point out. Locally, we are seeing that. Let's go to our liquidation heat map. Let's refresh this. There's a couple things that we saw on this liquidation heat map, guys, and this is very interesting. So remember yesterday I showed you that we had all that liquidity below our weekend lows. Let me zoom back in on this. Let's go to the hourly chart and let's go to Coinbase. So these weekend lows that we had over the weekend, we had all that liquidity that was resting below those weekend lows. Well, now that we flushed it and grabbed the liquidity on our liquidity grab today, we took out all those, we took out all that liquidity and we are pumping up. Now, right before we took out that liquidity, we had our CPI print, excuse me. We had our CPI print here and you can see we're kind of going sideways until our CPI print. Then we saw the mega flush down. Well, there was a lot of people that were late longing in here that got stopped out, but you can see right about 30 minutes before CPI happened, we started seeing a pump on the price action of people anticipating a bullish CPI print or whatever it was. We were seeing a little bit of a pump, and then we got the big drop to the downside of over $1,000. Like it was like, you know, what, $1,500 or so, something like that. Now we had a lot of liquidity. A lot of people shorted that bad CPI print. And obviously, if you short the bad CPI print, you're putting your stop above that high. So there was a lot of liquidity resting up here from this crash, from all the people that shorted this. Well, we made our way in our 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 third wave. Our third wave took out all that liquidity from earlier in the day, the people that shorted the bearish CPI print. And it was a very bearish CPI print. It came in much hotter than expected. And we took that liquidity and now we're just continuing up. We even took the liquidity above these highs. You can see when we hit these highs into our daily, this was at 97.4. When we hit into our daily and our point of control, we saw the drop. Well, people shorted this as well, put their stops above that high, hence this liquidity. And we bounced from our 382, came back up and took that liquidity. Now, the majority of the liquidity has been taken on both sides. Down below us, look at where this liquidity at, 91K. Well, guys, I did show you that this fractal that I just showed you on this chart, let's go back to the daily here. And if we see that fractal play out, 91K, SFP of 91K. Let me do this again real quickly here. Let's take that bars pattern. Let's pull that bars pattern here. If we are going to see this play out again, the majority of our liquidity is below these 91K lows. We just confirmed that we have liquidity down here. And if we see this bars pattern play out, maybe we're going to take that liquidity below us before making that move up. So that's just something that I want to show you guys on the liquidity heat map. We have some confluence with liquidity now, but also to the upside at 102 up here, we do have that liquidity, and actually really, you know, going up into 103, we have some liquidity up there. Let's go into, that's our Model 3 heat map now. Let's go into our Model 2 heat map and let's look at that. So just very locally, we do have our liquidity resting above us here. And that is into, okay, let me delete that again. And let's go into our hourly chart. And let's go to Coinbase. So the highs that we made yesterday here into our point of control, because remember, our point of control was up there yesterday, our Coinbase point of control. But the liquidity above us, the very local liquidity above us, is the SFP of this high. That's why that liquidity is up there. All the people that shorted this yesterday, their stops are still above that high. So do we make a move up to this area to stop those people out and then see the drop? That is a possibility. Right now, we're dropping a little bit and we're back testing, where it looks like we're in the process of back testing this area, which I did say this would be our first local area to back test. Okay, so that's about it for Bitcoin, guys. Now, let me go into Ethereum real quick, because Ethereum is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now, yesterday, I had this box in this area. All I did was, we had this box here in this area. We did see a bounce from the box, got a move up, bounced again, got another move up, and then finally on the CPI print, it broke. But what happened is we bounced, and if you go into yesterday's video, you can see that I did have this box here, this box of support. It was around our channel midline. Look at our channel midline, how well, let me delete this box now. And you can see that channel midline. Wait. Bounce from midline, bounce from midline, bounce from midline, and then wick past it, but bounce from midline. So we made these lows last night. And then if you look here, we SFP'd those lows on the CPI dump. So we got another swing failure pattern. And then we exploded up to the top of the channel where I did have, now this is support. I just drew this on the video that didn't have sound. But we exploded to the top of the channel, which remember the top of the channel was also our bearish back test of that weekly log ascending channel, that pink line right here. Didn't even get much of a rejection, and then we saw the explosion through it. Now, normally when you break a channel to the upside, a descending channel, this is exactly textbook what you want to see. A volume move out of the channel and an explosion up. Now that we've done that, yes, it's okay to drop back down to back test that channel and continue higher. That's why I have this box here. But you can see this channel's been really respected really nicely this entire downtrend here. We're breaking out of it. Do we now back test it and continue higher? So what we did pump up to our, we did front run this SFP here, but I do believe that was a value area high. So let's do the volume profile of this range here. Yes, it was our value area high. And actually, let me make sure this is correct here. Let's pull it to like right here. Okay, so yeah, value area high is up there. And that's part of the reason why we rejected up there. It was also, I believe, our golden pocket pull. Let's see, was it from this high to the lows? Yes, but I don't think it was that one. I actually think it was this golden pocket pull from the high of the channel to the low of the channel. Yeah, okay, so check this out. From the high of the channel to the low of the channel, because since we made these lows here, we have not tested the golden pocket yet. So it was our value area high, golden pocket rejection. We saw that move up to test that, and now we're seeing a bit of a rejection from that area. So what do we look for? We're rejecting from our value area high in our golden pocket. We did front run this key SFP here. Unfortunately, it would have been nicer to take that. But because we didn't take that, we can expect now to bounce at a local support and come take it, because now there's a double high there, twice the liquidity to take possibly, if anyone shorted up here in this golden pocket that we just rejected from. So what do we look for now? The point of control of that range is right around the bottom of our weekly log channel. Now that we are inside our weekly log channel, we really do want to stay inside of it. But it's also the bullish back test of our channel that we just broke out of, our bluer descending channel. So came up here. This is our first level of support to look, and this area here is between 2678 and 2693. So this area is our first very local level if we're going to stay bullish, to bounce from here and then continue. And if we continue, We can look for a move up to this box here, and let's zoom out on this, and I'll get those coordinates for you. Come on, what's going on here? Here we go. And we do have here, this box is between 2861 and 2885. So we have our, actually it's 2883. I got to make it to the daily. Here we go. Okay, so 2861 to 2883. And we have the swing failure pattern of the second pivot channel. Now, remember, I talk about this all the time in my video, you guys. When we have a channel like this to the downside and we break it up, we often at least sweep the liquidity of the second pivot of that channel, if not sweep the liquidity of the entire channel. So we have our liquidity sweep of our second pivot into a daily level up here. And that's the box that I just gave you. What was that? 2663 to 2680, 2863 to 2883, that $20 area or whatever it was. Now we do have the double top here to watch for another fake out SFP of that area. But what is our next box of resistance? Our next box of resistance is this box here, which is our golden pocket pull from this high to our flash crash lows, our golden pockets in here. And we also have the swing failure pattern into that golden pocket up there. So this area is nice. But also one more thing, guys. If we look at this, so let me go ahead and delete this volume profile real quickly. Let me delete this. I showed you guys that SFP. Now, this is a new daily level down here that I just marked out at 2602. And then this naked daily point of control is a new naked daily point of control at 2594. So those are brand new. I just marked them out in the last video where I didn't have sound. If you guys want me to upload that video, let me know. I'll upload it without sound. Okay, let's look at this. So we saw our impulse to the upside. Then we saw, just like Bitcoin, we saw that A, B, C correction. I know that was horrible, but you get the point. Just like Bitcoin, after the big impulse to the upside, we saw our A, B, C correction. And then since our C correction, we've been going more sideways, just like Bitcoin has, or some of the other altcoins like XRP in general. But look at this now. So this does look to me, and if this is the end of a correction that we're seeing now, this does look to me kind of like a inverse head and shoulders pattern, which is a bottom reversal pattern. After the impulse, we have our correction. Could this be the end of our correction, hence the bottom reversal pattern that we're seeing? Well, what pattern are we seeing? Let me go onto the 2-hour chart to make it a little bit easier here. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Do we see the explosion of this inverse head and shoulders breaking the channel, which is our neckline pretty much, breaking it to the upside and continuing to our target? Now, I don't only trade patterns, but I do look for them for confluence. And if I do see a pattern where it's supposed to be with volume confirmation, I do pay attention to it more. Now, we can do a estimation of this if this is a possible inverse head and shoulders and breaks out. So we go from the low up to about these highs here. This is about where our inverse head and shoulder neckline is, because you can see this is like where this support resistance flip is through all of this. And it was also our resistance here. So that's kind of where our neckline would be. We put our neckline on the breakout of this area. So if we put it right here, you can see where does our ends right in our golden pocket. What a coincidence. So yeah, you guys, swing failure, the top of the channel. If we are going to break this inverse head and shoulders to the upside, come all the way up into our golden pocket, swing fail the highs of the sweep all the liquidity of this channel. That is a possibility. So we'll just watch out for that as well. Now, if we're going to do that break, we do need to see some pretty big impulsive price action to the upside. So it's definitely acceptable to have a few like 2-hour or 4-hour red candles, like something like, like this up here. That is acceptable to see something like that. So we can watch for that. Now to the downside, support levels. If we're going to break, of course, our first support level I just mapped out to you guys, the bullish back test of our pink weekly log channel, our smaller blue descending channel, and our point of control was in there as well. That is from 2678 to 2693. But what we can do now is we can do a Fibonacci pull from the lows here of the channel to our new breakout highs. And you can see that this golden pocket, actually, let's look at the 786. No, I like the golden pocket a bit better. Yeah, golden pocket is around our new daily level, and it's around our new naked daily point of control. But also, if we do our volume profile pull again of this small range that we're seeing, actually, no, okay, because our value area low is below us, I think the 786 is better. The 786 is actually in perfect confluence with our value area low. So what would I say? This is our first box of support now. And actually, I actually went over all this. That's why the box I had, it was marked out somewhere. Let's see. Anyways, in my other video, I actually just went over this. I should have remembered that. This daily to our 786 is going to be our next support level. So that is going to be from 2602 to 2581. That is our level of support. Value area low, 786, naked daily point of control, and a daily level. And then if we lose that box, let me do this. 786. Okay, so we got all that in there. And then if we lose that, we still do have our golden pocket that is near the bottom of the channel if we drop back into this channel. So that is our area we could watch for, and that's between 24.45 and 24.21. So that's a bit about it for Ethereum, guys. Let's now go into Solana. Solana actually had some awesome stuff happen, and let me get rid of this. That was just something I was looking at. So Solana, I just did TA on this as well, guys. Let's just do it again. So here's what happened yesterday. Let me zoom in onto the 15-minute chart. Yesterday, as I was making the video, what was happening is we were starting to break this channel to the downside. You can see this channel was our kind of trend that we were playing, a lower time frame trend to the upside that we were seeing. And yesterday when I made the video, I talked about how we rejected from our golden pocket and channel midline. That was the short that I called, our resistance level that I called, and we did hit that resistance level, dropped to the bottom, saw a small bounce from the bottom, and then finally lost it. You can even see here, lost it, had an immediate low time frame back test, then had our bigger time frame back test, and then dropped to new lows. So in the level that I had marked out, dang it, I wish I didn't delete that. If you look in yesterday's video, I did have our, let me get rid of this. No, this was where it was. So we had our value area low, and then we had a naked daily point of control at 193.3. So if I throw this on, and let's just go coordinates, 193.3. We had our naked daily point of control. Wait. Yeah, where did that go? There we go. And that was our naked daily point of control. And then we also had something else there as well. Value area low was there. A naked daily point of control. Oh, and then we had the swing failure pattern. Duh. Okay, and then we had the swing failure pattern of these lows here that were there, and that's the second pivot of the channel. Remember, I often talk about this. Anytime you break a channel to the downside, you at least come grab the liquidity of the second pivot of that channel. Well, guess what happened last night? And I actually actively was watching the charts and took this trade. So we dropped straight to our box of support. I had this box labeled right in here, and we dropped straight to that box of support. We got the swing failure pattern, and we didn't, on the first drop, we didn't hit our naked daily point of control, but because we got the swing failure pattern, I took along from here, and I did take a TP1 at VWAP because I did think we were going to get another drop because we front ran the naked daily point of control. And so I got stopped out after TP1 on that, and then this was one of the rare times, you guys, where I actually set a limit here with proper risk management. I had a stop in place. I had less than a 1% stop in place just in case we busted through it. But I had a limit there, went to bed, woke up this morning, and we were up in this area here, and I had a nice trade on my hands. But I was confident that we were going to come back down one more time just to hit that naked daily point of control. It was also the value area low of our range. So now the value area low is changed, or actually this is a different value area low. But if we look at that volume profile pull, let me hide this one first of all. And we look at that volume profile pull. Let's go on to the hourly chart. And we'll do that volume profile pull. You can see that our value area low is right there as well. So when we came into that area, bounce from our naked daily point of control, bounce from our value area low, we got to push up. And then we dropped from CPI. Of course, everything dropped aggressively from CPI. But let me zoom back in and let me show you guys what happened here. So I did take the longs here, and my first take profit level this morning was when we hit into the golden pocket. Now we actually, if we do our golden pocket pull from the rejection of the channel, from the bearish backtest of the channel to the lows that we made, you can see we did end up rejecting from our 786. Now I took most of the profit, 50% profit at the golden pocket here, and then I got stopped out on the CPI dump, and that sucked. But you know what? Is still a winner, so you can't complain. But yeah, anyways, dropped 786, dropped us with the CPI print, and we dropped and made new lows. Made an initial low, and then we came down and we SFP'd that initial low here. Then, bounce, and now we're starting to bounce and reclaim, and we are actually back within our volume profile now. The smaller one, the 10-day volume profile. So we're back above the value area low. I can get rid of this now, and I can get rid of this now. And you can see, and I'll get rid of this now. And you can see my new resistance that I just marked out from our last video. Our point of control is at the back test of the channel, but also, let me zoom onto the 1 hour chart to make this a little bit more clear. If we do our Fibonacci pull from the highs to the lows here, our 786 is exactly on that level as well. So this is our first local area. I think I already marked that out. Let me see here. Yeah, point of control 786 channel retest. So I just made that in the last video. That's why that's there. The video that had no sound. Anyways, that's our local resistance above us. And then to the downside, I mean, we do have these SFPs here that I still would like to take, but our box, our 886 into our pitchfork band here. But let's go on to our other chart here, because this chart has some pretty key things here that we were looking at. So this pink line here is a big, much bigger channel. Let me zoom out onto the 4 hour chart. And you can see this is a much bigger channel that we've been in for a long time. In the bottom of the channel, you can see the last 2 times we touched the bottom of the channel, it bounced us. The last 2 times we hit the midline, it rejected us. I mean, yes, we did get a little bit past it in this area, but we do have the bottom of the channel that's down there. And the bottom of the channel is near, I mean, we do have a pretty decent bottom here that we're forming on Solana. I do like these lows as well, though. These lows down here, I do think eventually they're going to be taken. So, but for now, we can just continue to trade this range that we're seeing now. Of course, in this range, let me get rid of this here. Okay, so what can we suspect after this big impulse to the upside? I'm thinking a couple things here. And I talked about this in the video without sound, but we have this push to the downside that was clearly an impulse push to the downside. You see our A, B, C, D, E triangle in here. Then we saw like that was our 1 wave, 2 wave, big third wave, 4, 5. Now our 5 was truncated, which I don't like to see a truncated 5th wave here, meaning our 5th wave still could be coming down to take these lows here into this low. So there's a couple things I'm looking at. This could be our big start of our more macro A. Then we could come up to our naked weekly point of control. It is also the the 0.5, you can see I just marked this out in the last video. Our 0.5 is exactly on top of our naked weekly point of control. And then our huge range point of control. Now this range goes all the way back to November of 2024. You can see it's this just upper price action in this area. So point of control, naked weekly point of control, and our 0.5, which often acts as resistance in a correction, or it's a key target in a corrective wave. So if we are seeing after a mega impulse, we're seeing an A, B, C, and the C could come down, you know, really. Actually, I think what I talked about earlier was seeing this as our A already being done. Let me get rid of this here. So our A being here, our B could come up to this area, and then our C could come down to take these lows. Yes, that's how I had it earlier in the video. So A, B could bring us all the way up to here. Now we are seeing that liquidity grab, local liquidity grab, and a push up from it, and we are back within our bigger value area low of this volume profile. You can see we keep holding this value area low and we're back above it. So do we see a move up to 235 and then drop down to take 168? I do think that now that'll take time. That'll take maybe a couple months, but I do think that's possible. Above that, so I do think this area here is a major area of resistance. 235 to 237.8. There we go. And let's do naked weekly point of control, regular point of control, and the 0.5, which is a corrective target, correction target. So that is what I'm looking for here. Let's make that purple. And then, of course, above that, we have our golden pocket pull into our naked weekly, another naked weekly point of control, and our value area high is up there. So that to me is even, or it's just as good as this one. This one is a really good resistance level here at 235 to 237, but also that resistance level, come on now, here between our naked weekly point of control, our golden pocket, and our value area high is up in this area. Okay, so those are our two major levels on Solana above us. Now we do have more local stuff to watch for. That's if we see a breakout of the kind of this smaller range here. Now to the downside, yes, we have our 886 into the bottom of the channel. Now the alignment is not so nice anymore. So our 786 though is right in that area. Let's pull this like this back to the low. And you can see that 786 is now aligning. It will be in just a day or two with the bottom of the channel very, very nicely. So I do like that area in here. Okay, zooming back in, let's go on to the 2-hour chart and let's just look at our last 10 days worth of price action here after the dump. We do our volume profile pull here, and we are rejecting from our point of control right now, unfortunately. So we can do a couple things here. We can do our Fibonacci pull from the last time we were at the highs of that range to the lows that we made earlier today. Okay, 786 does not look very nice. 886 is near the top of our value area high. I don't know. I mean, I like the confluence there, but it's not the most, you know, I don't like it the best. Actually, let's go ahead and do a golden pocket pull from the actual highs that we saw to our new lows. And let's turn on our golden pocket. Much better. Okay, so now remember, this hit into the golden pocket. It's not valid yet. Actually, are these lower? Never mind. Never mind. I'm mistaken because these lows are lower here. And yes, we have hit into that golden pocket. So that golden pocket is no longer as valid. So I guess that 886 into the value area high is a local area we could be watching. We also have the internal liquidity grab here. that could give us some fuel. That's not too great though. Really? What else? I mean, like that's it though, you guys. I mean, there's not much else for Solana in this smaller time frame area. We could look at our naked daily points of control, actually. Nothing fresh in all of here. Okay, and let's look at our monthly pivot points. Nothing either. Now, our monthly pivot points also down here. So this area is legit. 175, 185 to 183. But yeah, nothing locally really in this area. So I would just say the 886 into the value area high, and that's around 207. Actually, is that? Okay, 205 is the area, the local area. Binance has a much different point of control than Bybit. Actually, let me check this out because I was just charting on Coinbase the other day. Yes, okay. So check this out, guys. That 205 is a valid area. 207 too. It's about the back test of the pitchfork that we broke to the downside. And yeah, I mean, our 886 is up there, but really this is even higher than that 886. Let's do this. Oh, come on. 886 value area high, but actually let's go back to our golden pocket. If we pump up pretty quickly, our golden pocket 786 area is aligning with the back test of this pitchfork. Don't know how I feel about it though. I mean, I think if we get above this point of control that we're seeing now, obviously Binance, the reason why I used to chart on Binance, because it does have the most volume, and I do like Binance's, in this case, I like Binance's point of control because it aligns with the back test of the channel that we just lost. And our 786 is right on top of that. That 786 is right on top of that. So that's it, 204.64. That's the area I'm watching for local resistance. And then I guess gave you guys the higher resistances and the lower supports. So that's it for Solana, XRP. Yeah, XRP, there's not much going on here. So I did talk about this yesterday, but we had our impulse to the upside, and then we saw like this channel to the downside here. And I was speculating that maybe we are seeing the start of like, this is our A wave, our B wave could bring us up to the golden pocket, and our C wave could bring us down to this golden pocket. But you can see our bigger range here from this area here all the way. Our value area low is at that golden pocket area, this box down here between 211.86 and 215 pretty much. So 212 to 215 is what I'll say. So that's our box of support that I'm really interested in. Actually, I need to extend this. Now, to the upside, we do have our swing failure pattern of these highs here into our anchored VWAP, and we also have a naked daily point of control there. So this area here is going to be our area. That is from 253.4 to 256.6, and I'm rounding a little bit, but yeah, that's it. And then the next one higher is our golden pocket, naked daily point of control, and a value area high. And I do believe, let's make sure that naked daily point of control is still there. Yes. Okay. Golden pocket's up there. That golden pocket is from this high to this low of this potential wave A. Let me turn this off now. So if we're speculating this is an A, our B could bring us to the golden pocket, and then our C could bring us down to this golden pocket. And look at that symmetry. Just looks so nice too. So golden pocket, naked daily point of control, and the value area high of the range is up in this area here. And this box is between, 258.8 to 263 pretty much. 259 to 263. Okay, and then to the downside, this here now, very, very locally, after this A wave here, we've been going sideways. So I did pull yesterday. I pulled that smaller range here yesterday. And you guys, we did bounce. In yesterday's video and in my video with no sound, you can see that when I first initially came to this chart, we had a very small green box right down here. And that green box was the local support that I marked out yesterday, which was our value area low golden pocket. So look at this here. No, it was this here, golden pocket value area low in there. We hit into it. We did see a small bounce, and then we finally lost it with that CPI print. So, but we did get an initial scalp off of that, which was nice. We got that scalp up, and now we are at the value area high of the smaller range. If we do see a rejection, also that value area high is at our golden pocket, I believe. Let me see. Not gold, 786, I mean. So we're at the value area high, 786. We're at the local rejection area. So if we do see a move down, this point of control now is going to be an important point of control very locally because it's our big point of control, our small point of control. And then to the downside, I mean, really just liquidity grabs, you guys. There's nothing much else there. I would like to move up to either one of these two areas before moving down, though. Doesn't matter what I want. Let's do that. Golden pocket pull from low to high here. Nah. Yeah, I mean, really, I'd just be looking at liquidity grabs. Other than that, there's not much else to be looking at. Yeah, I mean, we do have that monthly pivot that's down here. So, no real confluence though. Okay, that's about it, guys. I mean, we're rejecting from a local resistance now. You could play the range until it breaks. Now we also do have this range here from the lows on, and I actually this is the better range to follow. So that's why our value area high of this range is a little bit higher. And then our value area low, the swing failure pattern of this low into our value area low, what I would say is our first local support here. SFP into Val. That is from 230.9 to 229.23. This SFP down here, and then of course our big support. Now, if we really start losing that, we can also look at these levels down here. But let me, in my other video, I did speculate on this. So let me zoom out to the daily chart, and I'm just going to go ahead and hide these ranges real quick. Son of a... Okay, so we were looking at this as a possible 5-wave impulse. So obviously we had our accumulation area all through this area here, this accumulation area, and then we saw a clear impulse. Now, after we were accumulating for a while in here, we saw the swing failure, the key swing failure pattern of our last big low through here, and that started our first real sense of an impulse to the upside. So if we look at our just 5-wave Elliott impulse pattern, you know, this was our wave 1, the SFPs of these lows here, to our wave 2 up here. Our wave 3, I mean, this, you would actually classify this as like a running flat here. And then our wave 3 would come up here to this area. Our wave 4 did come down into this area here. This was like a triangle. Wave 4 can be a triangle. And then our wave 5. So did we end the big impulse? And the triangle, you can obviously see we had a triangle in here. You know, it was like this in through here and then to the upside. Remember, we were playing this triangle when we were playing this. So we had that triangle in here, broke it in our wave 4. And then did we complete our wave 5 in here? And then after you complete a wave 5, what do you look for? You look for a bigger correction to the downside, a bigger ABC correction to the downside. Well, after our wave 5, we had our big dump in an A wave. Could we be coming up to that golden pocket area in our B wave and then see a dump down to 140-ish to our complete our C wave? That's where we have our daily and our 0.5. The 0.5 is a very common target in corrections. And so that is something that I'm speculating here. I don't necessarily want to see it happen. In some ways, it would be a blessing to get some XRP. But this is a possibility that this could happen on higher time frames. Now, this will take months to play out because we're on a daily chart. So I just want to let you make you aware of that. Okay, guys, I've got to get going. Chainlink, let me go into Chainlink real quick here. I already mapped out everything, so let's go just 1 hour. Our resistance above us is still this box here. It's our golden pocket, our value area high, our channel midline, and we have the swing failure pattern into it. That box here is from 20.1. I'm just going to round up 20.1 to 20.4. So that's that area. Below us, we do have, well, let's do this Fibonacci pull. I think we already headed into our golden pocket, I believe. So if we go from the lows, what is going on here? Okay, yeah, we've hit into our golden pocket, but we have not hit our 786 yet. And we do have a liquidity grab of the range lows into our 786. So I do like that area, actually. Let's just turn just the 786 on. And I do think this area here, our swing failure pattern into our 786, that box there is a box. So from 17.44 to 17.3 is our first box of support to be looking at. And then even more locally, if we just follow today's move up, we can go from the lows of today to the highs of today, and you can see that 786 is at the value area low, and that's at $18 pretty much exactly. So I would say $18 is our very first local support level, then 17.3, and then I do like this, guys. The swing failure pattern of the flash crash lows come into the bottom of our big 4-hour descending channel that we've been in for a couple months now. And that's around $16. The ultimate support is this $15, a naked weekly point of control into our macro golden pocket. And if it takes some time, the bottom of our channel could be aligning as well. So that's it, guys. I got to get going. Hope everyone enjoys this video. Please hit like and subscribe if you got anything out of this video. Also, guys, I do still have my MEXC affiliate program running. So in the description, in the comments, if you want to sign up, it's an affiliate link. So we both get some money. You know, you get some money off of fees in trading. You can also get a deposit bonus, and I get a small kickback as well. So thank you guys for supporting the channel. I appreciate it. And I will see you tomorrow.